Shalom Aleichem. That means peace unto you. I'm Ezra Maxberry. I'm a Karaite Israelite. Karaite, that ain't no fancy word. It comes from the Hebrew word korah, which means to read out loud. A Karaite, as opposed to an Rabbinite. Rabbinite is what you hear mostly of, Rabbinic Judaism. Rabbinic Judaism believes in an oral law, a law that was supposed to have been given at the time that Moses received the commandments on Mount Sinai. But Karaites don't believe that there was a separate oral law. We believe that there was only one written law for everybody to follow. I will be teaching here a false doctrine that I'm seeing around is that salvation is only for genetic Israelites. I've been hearing a false doctrine that salvation is only for genetic Israelites. And I will be speaking on that just a few minutes. It won't take long. I'll be sharing my screen. Is salvation for genetic Israelites only? A false doctrine exposed. There are at least 4 types of stranger in the in Tanakh. Tanakh is what most people call the Old Testament. Number 1, there's a circumcised or loosely used word converted stranger. Number 2, there's an uncircumcised or neutral stranger. Number 3, there's servants, slaves, etc. stranger. And number 4, there's God's / Israel's enemy stranger. I'll be discussing 1 and 2, the circumcised stranger and just the uncircumcised stranger. The regular ones, regular uncircumcised stranger. First of all, I want to establish one point, that a stranger is a stranger and not an Israelite. There's a false teaching that I see on YouTube, and these false teachers are teaching that when you see the word stranger or the word Gentile or the word going or goy, that's really not a stranger or a Gentile, that's really an Israelite. Let's debunk that right now, right away, just to get it out of the way. Numbers chapter 15, verses 14 through 16 says, and if a stranger sojourn with you, or whosoever be among you in your generations, and will offer an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord, as ye do, so he shall do. One ordinance shall be both for you of the congregation and also of the stranger that sojourn with you. An ordinance forever in your generations, as ye are, so shall the stranger be before the Lord. One law and one manner shall be for you and for the stranger that sojourneth with you. Now look at that. It's talking about offerings and the strangers giving offerings. And it says that the stranger, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And it says that there is one ordinance for the stranger and the Israelite. Now notice, if the stranger is giving offerings, he is one that has embraced the covenant. And if he's giving offerings, why is he called a stranger? Is a Greek-minded or backslidden Israelite that's following the covenant called a stranger? That don't make good nonsense, let alone sense. So a stranger is a stranger and not a backslidden Israelite, as some try to teach. This one verse right here debunks the whole notion of that. Now, we'll talk about the uncircumcised stranger and the circumcised stranger. The uncircumcised stranger, Exodus chapter 12, verse 43. And the Lord said unto Moses and Aaron, this is the ordinance of the Passover, that no stranger shall eat thereof. No stranger shall eat thereof. That's the uncircumcised stranger. Now let's go to Exodus 12, 48 and 49. It says, and when a stranger shall sojourn with thee and will keep the Passover to the Lord, let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and keep it. And he shall be as one that is born in the land. For no uncircumcised person shall eat thereof. One law shall be to him that is homeborn, and unto the stranger that sojourneth among thee. You see, you got two things happening. In the first verse I read, the stranger can't eat of the Passover offering because he's uncircumcised. The second verse I read, he can eat it because he's circumcised. So there's two different ways that the strangers are dealt with. Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 21. Ye shall not eat of anything that dieth of itself. Thou shalt give it unto the stranger that is in thy gates, that he may eat it, or thou mayest sell it unto an alien. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not seeteth a kid in his mother's milk. That's the uncircumcised stranger. It says that the Israelites can't eat nothing that just died, and it died, and you say, hey, I'm gonna eat this. No, the Israelite can't eat that, but it says he can give it to a stranger or an alien. You can give it to that person, but you can't eat it. Now look at Leviticus chapter 17, verse 15. It says, and every soul that eateth that which dieth of itself, or that which is torn with beast, whether it be one of your own country or a stranger, he shall both wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. Then shall he be clean. Now notice this. It says that the Israelite nor the stranger can eat something that died of itself or that was killed by other animals. But if you do eat it, you both will have to wash your clothes and bathe yourself, and then evening you will be clean again. Now notice the stranger is the same law for him. If the stranger eats something that has died of itself or a torn beast, he has to wash himself and bathe himself, and he'll be clean by evening. Now, what does it mean? I thought the strangers were unclean, but this stranger is clean because it says he was already clean before he ate, and then after he ate, he became unclean, and then he followed the ritual, the rules, and then he became clean again. So that is the circumcised stranger. Salvation to the stranger, the Gentiles, the Goyim. Now, Numbers chapter 15, verses 28 and 29. Now, when I read all these verses, please, 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 please read the whole context of these chapters so that you know that I'm not tricking you, because I can be fooling you. But read the whole context of these chapters so that you know that what I'm saying is the truth. Numbers 15:28. And the priest made atonement for the soul that sinneth ignorantly, when he sinneth by ignorance before the Lord, to make an atonement for him. And it shall be forgiven him. Ye shall have one law for him that sinneth through ignorance, both for him that is born among the children of Israel, and for the stranger that sojourneth among them. Now notice the priest is making atonement for those that sin ignorantly or unknowingly. He's making atonement for them so that it be forgiven. But notice it is for the Israelite and the stranger. Now, if stranger there meant just a worldly minded uh, Israelite, then why is it still calling him stranger if this ritual or this sacrifice is for him as well? Leviticus chapter 16, verse 29 through 30. And this shall be a statute for and this should be a statute for forever unto you, that in the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month, you shall afflict your souls and do no work at all, whether it be one of your own country or a stranger that sojourneth among you. For on that day shall the priest make an atonement for you to cleanse you, that ye may be cleansed from all your sins before Yah. Look at that. The Day of Atonement was not only for the Israelite, but it was for the strangers that sojourned among them. Of course, the circumcised strangers, of course. Notice their sins will be cleansed. They will be cleansed from all their sins before the Lord. How is it if there is no salvation for the stranger, that here there's all their sins were forgiven? Please answer that question. That is a question to all you leaders that's teaching that salvation is only for genetic Israelites. Isaiah chapter 56, verse 1 through 8. Future prophecy. Thus said the Lord, keep ye judgment and do justice, for my salvation is near to come, and my righteousness to be revealed. Blessed is the man that doeth this, and the Son of Man that layeth hold on it, that keep my Sabbath from polluting it, and keepeth his hand from doing any evil. Neither let the, look at verse 3, neither let the son of the stranger that had joined himself to the Lord, what? I'll read it again. Neither let the son of the stranger that had joined himself to the Lord speak, saying, the Lord hath utterly separated me from his people. Neither let the eunuch say, behold, I am dry as a tree. For thus said the Lord unto the eunuch that keep my Sabbath and choose a thing that pleases me and take hold of my covenant. Also, the sons of the stranger that joined themselves to Yah. Notice that. The strangers, they have joined themselves to the Lord to serve him and to love the name of the Lord, to be his servants, everyone that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it and take hold of my covenant. What? Look at that. It says, everyone that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it and take hold of my covenant. It's talking about the strangers taking hold of the covenant. Everybody know that the covenant was given to Israel. But look, the covenant can be taken hold of by the stranger. Even them, verse 7, even them will I bring to my holy mountain and make them joyful in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings, talking about the strangers, their burnt offerings and their sacrifices shall be accepted upon my altar. For mine house shall be called a house of prayer for all people. I'll read it again. For my house shall be called an house of prayer for all people. The Lord God had gathered the outcasts of Israel, saith, yet I will gather others to him beside those that are gathered to him. Ezekiel chapter 47. Now Ezekiel, start reading at at chapter 40, and it talks about the new temple that's going to be built. First temple, destroyed. Second temple, plundered and destroyed. But there's going to be a third temple built. In the Messianic age, there's going to be a third temple built. And read Ezekiel beginning at chapter 40, and you will see how the Gentiles are dealt with there. They will be offering, they will be participating in the worship there as well. But let's read Ezekiel 47, verse 21 to 23. I want to show you something that goes deeper than that. So shall ye divide this land unto you according to the tribes of Israel. And it shall come to pass that ye shall divide it by lot for an inheritance unto you, and to the strangers that sojourn among you, which shall beget children among you, and they shall be unto you as born in the country among the children of Israel. They shall have an inheritance with you, the tribes of Israel. Verse 23, and it shall come to pass that in what tribe the stranger sojourneth, there shall ye give him his inheritance, saith the Lord God. Look at that. Even the strangers get an inheritance of land, just like the Israelites in the Messianic age. I can say that's a mic drop there. So we can clearly see that the strangers were treated just as well, the circumcised strangers, rather, were treated just as well as the natural born Israelite. So can anybody else obtain salvation other than a genetic Israelite? Absolutely yes. And I challenge all of you that teach this hate doctrine that only a genetic Israelite can inherit the kingdom, that only a genetic Israelite can obtain salvation. I challenge all of you that teach this false doctrine to a debate on a neutral platform, respectfully, of course, but I challenge all of you to a debate on this subject. Ezra Maxbury, and I'll see you for the next one.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai